That's an abrupt ending to the intro there. I don't know what's going on, and kind of glitched at the beginning, glitched at the end. Hopefully, that's not a foreshadowing of you and I glitching throughout the show, Terry. Not necessarily from a technology standpoint. Nobody cares if our technology works there. They care if our picks work.
That's right.
So you had a nice trifecta yesterday with your picks. A couple of winners in the card there as well. So a decent start to the Monday at Salem, Pennsylvania. We'll see if we can build on that in terrific Terry Tuesday. Before we do all that, though, as always, we got some free stuff for you to take a look at over at horseracingtoday.net. Don't know if you've had a chance to go over there, but our good friend 22-1 Tom put out all of his thoughts on the Super Bowl, if you will, of horse jumping races, the Cheltenham Festival. So if you haven't checked that out, you can find that over at horseracingtoday.net. And of course, as always, we have free picks over at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Let me pull that up real quick. That today is going to be at Will Rogers doing the handicapping there yesterday. I felt like a lot of really good chances to find some decent prices at the Will Rogers track. Fast today, just a couple of scratches, so the track should go pretty well. You can see also the track is fast and firm today at our place of business. That is Parx Racing. Terry, starting off, of course, as always, before we got going here. Parx Race 2, Win Grant. Race 5, Fine Whining. Race 9, Lawton. Race 10, Miss Maribel Ross Tabert. Good luck. Thank you, sir. Scary Creations, what's up, my man? On those jockey's horses from yesterday, the breakdown of Enforcer, who looked like he may win the race, did not look good. Our Sean should probably have a good update on that. He's usually got good connections over on our social sites. You follow us on Horse Race the number 2 day at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, and all of the above. But yeah, reach out to Sean over on our Facebook page and let him know. I mean, if you have any questions or you want updates or you want to actually, ask a jockey or a trainer a question, Sean's got plenty of great connections over there. It was a bomb fest yesterday. Good luck today, by the way, boys. Thank you. We appreciate that, Jay Edwards. And we certainly always like the positive kind of bomb fests. Not real bombs, but horse racing bombs. All right, Terry. Let's see if we can drop some bombs today.
All right. Well, we're going to start off with a 7 furlong maiden claiming race, $25,000 claiming price, purse $26,000 for maidens, fillies, and mares, 4-year-olds and upward.
And at 7 furlongs, the profile of a winner. That includes horses that like to stalk, Terry. It's probably the distance at Parx where the least amount go wire to wire, just 15%. It's still an alpha angle, but still for Parx, it's kind of an underperformance. A little bit of a rail bonus for my forever friend, Terry. Is that you now?
Yeah.
The 2 and 3 get a little bit of are the best place to be, excuse me. And then 4 and out, the farther you get from the inside 3, the lower the win rates go. So we're looking for a little inside 3 speed, Terry. And I got all sorts of things open up here that I don't need to open up. So let's go over here for our inside 3 speed. I hate these new, anytime you close your computer and come back, it just rearranges your stuff for you. And I don't know, where does Microsoft get off with that? But in any case, 1,000 or 10,000, simulations. We're looking for horses with odds, at least our simulated odds, that are lower than the post-time odds. Also looking for, based upon that, par plus, the percent chance a horse has to run better than par for the conditions. In this case, the par number is 75, according to Brisnet. That's the average winning speed figure. We want to know who's going to be on the lead, and based upon our projections, how likely this race is to mirror their best performances. Terry, a couple of speed horses, but a lot of red here in the opener.
That's right. That 4 and that 1 show the most speed. 6 and 7 show a little teeny bit of speed. So the 4 and 1 may go head to head. Depends on who gets the best break. As far as overlays, the 2 has an overlay from 3 to 1 to 10 to 1, and the 5 has an overlay from about 4 to 5 to 7 to 2. The only par number is 2, and it's not real large. Mm-hmm. And then also we have 6 and 2 have small C-zone numbers. So
yeah, it looks like a very uncomfortable race for everybody. They're going to have to find new ways. Well, none of them have won so far, Terry. So So far, I mean, you look at this race, everybody so far has wanted to close. The 1 and the 2 in their limited experiences have not finished within 5 lengths of the winner at the finish line. You know, in these races where horses are looking for their first W, a lot of times you get to the front, you got a good shot. Miss Cinnamon, this one has about a 4-point advantage, so about 3/4 of a length over Battaglia. Late speed wise, let's see who will be coming hardest at the end. Me So Lucky, Mama Mia Esterina, those two a little bit more late speed. Looks like only the 1 and 7, though, however, won't factor. The race is coming to its end, to a conclusion. And then our top 3, 4, 5, and 6 total pace horses. They're 10 points clear. The 1, 2, 3, and 7. Really, this should, if total pace matters, and it does, predict who's going to win, Terry. So that's what total pace predicts. What does Terry predict?
I predict Miss Cinnamon. The 6 is my first choice. She finished 5th in her last race as the favorite, but the trainer wins 29% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Then I like number 4, Battaglia. She ran second versus similar last race at Parx Racing, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and they added blinkers today to keep her mind on business. And then number 5, Tempest Rising is my third choice. She ran second versus similar in her last race and has the highest last race speed rating. The 2, Me So Lucky, she finished third versus similar in her last race, and the shorter distance probably will help her. No bet for me.
No bets. So we what we do is we keep a $2 bet on all of our top picks, a $1 exacta box with our top 2 picks, a 50-cent trifecta box with our top 3 picks, and then a 10-cent superfecta box with all of our selections. And then we have like a few dollars left over in our $100 budget that we can bet any which way we want. Terry usually loads up on a horse, and I try to find something that might pay off nicely with a pick 4 exacta trifecta, something along those lines. Terry, we both, I don't know if this is good news, bad news, or otherwise, but Ivan Perez says he's going to put a hundo on the 6 to win. That means I got the 6, you got the 6, Ivan got the 6. That's 666. Can we get another 6 out there so we can get off of that number, please? I'm going to go with, I might change the 6 just on that. But Miss Cinnamon, in its short career, when this horse has made a second start after a layoff, there were major upgrades from the first start. So I think you're going to see the best of Miss Cinnamon today. And somebody kindly make it 4 6s for us. Tempest Rising, the 5 horse, that's next on my list. Last time out, its speed figure was 6 points better than any other horse in the field. You watch long enough, you know, I point out that Andy Beyer, 3 points is a clearance rate that you're looking for. Only problem for me is, unlike the 6, the reason the 5 didn't get the first call for me is because this one tends to go backwards in the second start. So if she can change that today and actually go forward in the second start, I think that would be your winner. Number 4, Battaglia, really good chance, as one can see here, to be our pace setter. Lots of upside potential because this horse only has 2 races under its belt. So we're not quite sure that it's reached its maximum potential. Then finally, I just like to say this name, Mamma Mia Esterina. The last race was a little better than it looks, as it ran about a second faster than it did in its previous start. Again, outside of our $1, $2, 50-cent, and 10-cent exacta trifecta win bets and all that, no wagers for me. So that means we take the next logical step here. Good luck from Turkey. Thank you. We have people that join us from all over the world, and we appreciate that. And while you're here, no matter where you are in the world, Terry, there's a couple of things that you can do that cost nothing other than a mouse click that could help us grow our show. Terry, why don't you explain what they are?
Well, you can subscribe to YouTube and hit that little bell so you're notified about all of our different programs. Go down and copy the link at the bottom and send it to your friends and neighbors, relatives, so that they can also enjoy our shows. You can go to our social sites such as Instagram, TikTok, X, Facebook, and Threads at the number at Horse Race, the number 2 day, and give us a likes and thumbs up there. It helps us out quite a bit.
Yeah, any interaction that we have, likes, retweets, thumbs up, subscriptions, all of the above, sharing the link off to YouTube helps us with their algorithms. So when other people are searching for horse racing, they'll get to see Terry's beautiful face and my over talkative self. All right, off to race number 2 we go. Mr. Terry, what are we running for here?
Well, we're stretching out to 1.125 miles. It's a $7,500 claiming race. Purse 21,000 for 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races.
They don't run a whole lot of these races at a mile and an eighth at Parx, Terry. And so far, they've only run 4 of them. And interestingly about it, they've been barbell in terms of the performance. Either horses, 2 of them went wire to wire, or 2 of them came from way off the pack. So be, what was it, Ricky Bobby, be first or be last? I don't know how to remember from that movie. But in any case, if you're not first, you're last. Yeah, that was what it was. But in any case, so 2 of them closed, as I mentioned. 1 winner from post 2 and 3. All of the other winners came from post 4, 5, 6, and 7. So, Terry, if we're looking for speed in race number 2, it looks like there's plenty of it. Anybody can get to the lead.
That's right. All of them show some speed. So really, it's anybody's guess who's going to get there first. Although that 5 and that 2 show the most speed. Then the 4 has an overlay from 8.5 to 1 to 10 to 1, and the 5 has an overlay from just over even money to 3 to 1. All but the 1 and 3 show some kind of par numbers, with the 5 being the best. And then all but the 3 and 7 show pretty decent C-zone numbers.
So just based upon the mosaic of our data here, lots of green every which way you look. And it means there's a lot of cases you can make. That indicates to me a wide open affair in race number 2. And it's going to be a pretty balanced race in here, as everybody wants to be middle forward. So they all kind of want to run a similar race. The 3 and the 6 might be the most lead dependent. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like they have the most early speed. The 3 could be there if it presses the gas pedal a bit, although the 1 on the inside could get the advantage if it steps on the gas a little bit. This race will probably come down to the out of the turn and who has the most momentum at the end. Wind Giant has that most momentum, about a length better than everybody else, but it looks like it could be about 2 lengths off the pace early on. So that one's going to have to scoot a little bit more forward. And then finally, our top total pace is the Hasten Thence horse, along with Wind Giant. They're 10 points clear of the next group. That looks to me like, Terry, a logical exacta box, maybe an ice cold 5-7. What do you think?
Yeah, I do. 3-5 is what I like, but I'm going to answer Christopher first. Yes, Christopher, your pick of the day won yesterday and beat mine. Mine ran second.
Mm-hmm.
And from Turkey, Jamaica, here's Henzal. He's saying hi to us, and thanks for the nice comments there. So
I've never been to Jamaica, so if I come out there, I expect some great hosting from Terry and I. Maybe we should go out there and do a show, Terry. That would be wild, off the beach.
It'd be fun, huh?
Yeah, it would be a great time.
All right. Well, in the second race, I like the 3 AFY Kid. He ran second versus similar in his last race, has the highest last speed rating, and has a high percentage winning trainer. Hasten Thence, the 5. He has 2 wins at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And then 7 Wind Giant is my third pick, drops in class today, has a trainer, wins 18% of the races when shipping a horse in to run. Running Joke is my long shot. He's the 6th horse. He has a high percentage winning trainer, and no bets in here for me.
Hey, Terry, smartest guy in the room today, he's in Turkey. His name, let's see, hold on one second. Where did it go? Come on. There it goes. Realize your channel recently subscribed and recommending to all my friends. There you go. Right.
Yeah.
Smartest guy in the room right there. You guys should come. Would love our hospitality. Yeah, I would absolutely love to go to Jamaica. I've never been there. I've only been to one island, to Moorea outside of Tahiti. It was an interesting experience. I like the 5 horse as my top choice. Hasten Thence. Oops, I don't want to do that. That's the problem with live sheets, right? Yeah. Hasten Thence, fairly substantial drop in class for this cat. It's an all or nothing horse. They're one of my favorite types to bet. 6 races, won 2 of them. But the good news is he's only shown a fast track 4 times, and that's where both of those wins came. And I'm noticing, because I'm putting in my notes now, green, the color, green, and then green go. Those horses have been performing very well. They usually find their way first or second. And you see green, 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 and then overlay. So green go. Number 7, Win Giants. Those were the top 2 horses on the pace that we saw, 10 points clear of everybody else. This guy's running at the lowest level of its career, going to make its first starts at Parx after coming in from the New York circuit with the most back class. But it's not a track dropper. It has run at Aqueduct, but spent a lot of its time at Finger Lakes. Terry, do you consider Finger Lakes a upgrade or a downgrade from Parx, or do you think they're on the same level?
I think it's a small downgrade. So
going to Parx is a track rise.
that's right.
I like Affy Kid as my 3rd choice in there. Didn't miss by much at this level last time out. Won his only race at the distance by 9.5 lengths. So maybe this is preferred distance, Terry. And then last time out, all of its race internals were better across the board. And what I mean by that, if you're new to the show and you use the Brisnet, you look right here on the early speed, 92, 91, 59. And then the race before that, 81, 79, 59. So every piece of the race, that horse was better last time out. Usually a pretty good thing. And then finally, I'm going to go with the 4 horse as my final choice, Secret Alliance. Better across the board, just like we saw in that last race, and drops in class in the Classic, 3rd start after a layoff. Race number 3 is where we're going to go off to next. If we can't go to Jamaica, we can go to race 3, right there.
Yeah.
Like to teleport through the StreamYard, but unfortunately, we can't do that. We saw a lot of these races at this distance yesterday, too, by the way.
Yeah, 1 mile and 70 yards, and it's a claiming race, $5,000 claiming price, and its purse of $18,000 is for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards, which have not won a race since September 12th.
And at $170, we're looking for horses that are up front for the place to either stock, but a big bunch of them, nearly 4 out of 10, win wire to wire. The rail for Carly Hustle is not the place to be. 2 and 3, however, they do get a little bit of a bonus. 4 through 7, a penalty. But the best place post position wise is to wear the 8 or higher, Terry. So a little bit of inside speed and perhaps a little outside speed. It looks like most of that speed is outside. But again, a race where anybody can get to the front. Yeah,
they all have speed, but that 7 shows the most speed. And if it can get out of that gate without any trouble, should get that quarter pole first. And then the 1 has an overlay from just under even money to 9 to 2. The 6 is the only par plus number in here, and the 7 has a really nice C-zone number.
There's going to be a lot of pressure on the 7 horse. Let's see what sort of late speed that one has in the race number 3. Interestingly, in race number 3, the 1, 2, 3, and 5, none of them have been within 5 lengths of the winner when the race was over. Early on, High Time Valentine, a 10-point early speed advantage over a bit bad in Bougie. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that 6 get off to a comfortable lead. Maybe can hang on there at the end. At the end of the race, Risque's Jewel, the closer. Well, that's exactly what it's going to be doing, but it's not going to be all that far off the pace with this group, with the exception of maybe the 6 horse. And then your top total pace horse, you do have, again, a case where the 4 and 6 are standouts relative to the rest of the field, Terry. So the question is, pick your poison. Do you want speed, which tends to be the way to play Parx, or do you want a closer? Looks like we both put them in the same order.
That's right. I went with that 6 High Time Valentine. She drops in class today, has the highest last 3 speed rating. She has a high percentage win jockey, and her best dirt speed is fastest among today's starters. Risque's Jewel, the 4 is my second choice, has a high percentage winning jockey, and has a trainer who wins 26% of the races when taking a horse from a sprint to a route, and the longer distance may help this horse. And then I like the 3 as my third choice. She has a high percentage winning trainer and the highest speed figure at today's distance. Brody Slam, the 5 is my long shot, likes Parx Racing's finishing in the money in 46% of the races here, winning 16% of those starts. And the distance won't be a problem as she has finished in the money 45% of the time and won 10% of those races. And in addition to that, she drops in class today. So no bet in this race for me as well.
In their last race, too, Christopher D'Souza is going to bet a couple of bucks on that 2 horse to win in place and then put the 5 and 7 in it with the exacta trifecta. We go to Jamaica. Henzal is going to take us to the track there, Terry, and we'll see if we can win enough money to pay for our trip. get some inside information from the trainers and jockeys over there. Where was Terry Hollywood Hay last week? You were here last week, Terry, all week.
I was, yeah.
It was the week before that. Terry was a little bit out of there. Race number 2, the C-Zone. He likes that on the 2-horse. Let's go back to there. With that 81.43%, Christopher feels it's going to get a very comfortable race. Our friend Scary, race number 3 might be one of the worst races I've seen on paper. Yeah, doing a contest and other than the favorite 6, who can you pick? The horse has to be. Yeah, I think he's got to be a huge favorite. I really contemplated, though, putting the 4-horse in that top position instead. The 1-horse, too, maybe. You got that sim odds here at 4 to 5. The rail, I know, is a little bit penalized. That's why I kind of downgraded them a little bit. A couple of other new things I'm working on in the background with a good friend of mine. We're trying to use some little more enhanced analysis techniques in Excel to maybe squeeze out some price horses in there. And the 2-horse kind of fit that with Oui Madame. There's no real speed, no real closer. The race is very bad. I do think, though, that 6-horse is going to get the jump on everybody. You're right. It's going to be the huge favorite. It looks to me like the value is Carly Hustle, despite the fact that the rail stinks and should contend early on. So we'll see if that's how that race actually plays out. Let's talk about how we think race number 4, Terry, will play out after you tell us all about what they're going to do here.
All right, then. In race number 4, we're going to go 7 furlongs. It's a claiming race, $12,500 claiming price, purse $23,000. It's for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 3 races.
And again, this is the distance where speed matters the least, it appears, at Parx. Only 15% of the time horses that get the lead are able to hold on to it from beginning to end. A little bit of a rail bonus, but big Beamster. You know, that guy's not running, unfortunately, today. Otherwise, the 2-horse now, Musk, might get that inside race advantage. As far as our post positions beyond that, 4 and out, a discount relative to the inside 3. So if you're looking for some speed with the 1 scratching, maybe if the 2, 3, or 4 have some early speed, you might be on to something. And it looks like if you're holding on to that 4, you might be on to something.
Yeah, that 4 shows lots of speed, although most of them have some speed in there. But I think the 4 should be in the commanding lead at the quarter pole. None of them really have an overlay that I can see, and none of them have a par number. But 4, 2, and 5 have the best C-Zone numbers, or the only C-Zone numbers.
Yeah, looking at this layout here, Scary. This, you might add this to your list of races where you're you know, the favorite's probably going to hop to the lead and get out there and take it like that. In this race, it is kind of favoring front runners because in the 6-horse field, 4 of the horses want to be middle back. Just a pair want to be forward. Of those 2 that want to be forward, Kenner does have the early race advantage. You got a little bit of a left arrow action over here from Golden Wildcat, a closer whose early speed, typical early speed, is going to put him in contention right off the get-go. He does have the most late speed in there, a little bit better than Musk, but not a lot better. All the grouping in here is pretty good, except for maybe Sal and Louis, our top total pace horses. Again, we find 2 of them that are just a touch better than the rest. But after that, really not a big difference. 6-4 exact the box again. Terry, it looks like you're making that decision between speed and closers again.
That's right. I like that 6 Golden Wildcat. Finished 3rd versus similar to his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And that combination in the last 7 days, the jockey in the last 7 days has won 3 out of 12 starts with 2 seconds and a third. The 4 Kenner is my second choice, has a high percentage winning trainer. Returning to the sprint should help this horse. And his best start speed is fastest among today's starters. He's got a good workout on March 4th. At 4 furlongs. Then Hometown Hero, the 5 is my third choice, ran 2nd versus similar in last race, has the highest last speed rating and a high percentage winning jockey. Salin Louis, the 3 is the long shot. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and his best start speed is close to the average winning speed. Blinkers are added today so that he can keep his mind on what he's doing.
And off the ladies. Long-legged boy is Christopher D'Souza's top pick with the 1 and the 3, one that neither of us has in our selections, Terry. I went the other route. I went with the 4-horse Kenner. Going to get to the front, Terry. I think too big of an early race advantage over the rest. Going to drop in class in the third start after a layoff. Did run similar fractions last time out at $170 versus 7 furlongs. The question for me was the distance. So far, this guy hasn't been able to score. 0 for 4. Golden Wildcat, your top choice. The closer in here should be closer to the lead than usual. That left arrow horse wants to close, gets extra distance. The extra runway should be useful today. It is a left arrow horse. I love those. And this one has never run out of the money and 6 at the distance. Only won one of them, however. But that's one more than the 4 has. Hometown Hero, the 5-horse, third choice. Last time out through the first half mile, its pace numbers were better than the prior start. Rising speed numbers, and another one that's been effective at the 7 furlongs, tweener between a sprint and a route. 6 times out, a win, a second, and a couple of thirds. Then finally, Musk, my favorite fragrance. This one, what's interesting, we talk about trainer intent, right? That's something that I've heard Scott Hazelton talk a lot about. So he's running at 12.5, and then 12.5, you can see here. Last race out, first up, ran at 7.5, non-winners of 3, missed by 14 lengths. And what does the trainer do? Carl Jones, he moves him up in class. Now, my question is, why in the hell would he do that? Do you agree with that, Terry?
Yeah, it makes no sense, but I don't know.
Kind of reading between the lines, he must have seen something in the practice sessions that tells him the horse can make that step up. So let's see if indeed that does play to pass. We're about to kick off race number 1 at Parx. It looks like, they're making their way back towards the gate there. I don't know that we'd have time to get to race number 5. So let's talk a little bit about the odds as Jessica Paquette talks in my ear. Right now, the favorite, Terry, is the 5-horse in the opening leg here. Tempest rising at 9-5. That's my second selection there, Terry. And if you notice, the simulation odds on that one are closer to 4-5. So if you like the 5-horse, you're still getting value, even though the horse has been bet down pretty aggressively from 7-2. The 6-horse right now is your second choice at 5-2. Miss Cinnamon. And that's probably because nobody else joined us on the 6s. So we're stuck with 666.
Well, I'm pulling for the 6 so that Ivan wins.
The 4-horse Battaglia is the third choice at 3-1. The name, my forever friend, the 1-horse, does get the 4th call in there. The other one that has a good shot to be on the lead. Mamma Mia Estrina is the next one up at 10-1. 16-1 on Me So Lucky, and 27-1 on the 7-horse Jamaican Me Hazel. That's the one we got to bet because Hazel is coming from Jamaica today. I think that's the clear winner. And they're all getting ready to roll, Terry, in this opening leg of the terrific Terry Tuesday at Parx. And they're off and running. The 3-horse got a pretty horrible bounce, as did Me So Lucky. Those two are way off the pace as the race gets cooking. The 4-horse Battaglia, the one we suspected would get to the lead, has done that indeed. The 1-horse sits to the inside, not giving up the ability to clear so easily. Going to make the 4 work for it. The 6-horse, right now at 2-1, is comfortably in third. Going to get a good shot at these 2 front runners. Really no traffic in front of it. That 7-horse, Jamaican Me Hazel, that's right there in the mix with the 5-horse now on the rail. Those 2 that got a bad break are pretty much done for the race, it looks like. Although the 3-horse is trying to get engaged, the 5-horse is making a pretty aggressive move up the rail. It looks like it's moving the best right now. The 6-horse kind of waiting to make its move, it looks like. The 5-horse continues to ascend on the front runners, the 4 and the 1. He's going to try to find some room to get wide before the 6-horse can block him. The 1-horse has taken the lead on the 4-horse, but here comes that 5 to the outside. Looks like it's going to make a closing move on the 1. The 6-horse really never firing today. The 1-horse continues to maintain the lead, although the 5-horse is now making its move. The 6-horse looks like it finally was able to get itself into gear. Switch leads. It's trying to make up grounds, but really doesn't have a long stride. The 1-horse is not going to give up that lead easily, Terry, and he's really fighting on, but it looks like it's going to go 5-1-6, 3, 5, 1, 6, and 3, Terry, in the opening leg. And we talked about the 5 horse, despite the fact that 4 to 5 went off as the favorite at 8 to 5. 4 to 5 were fair odds. So if you like the 5 horse, you still got paid more than you should have, Terry. And it comes home as the second pick there, but we don't collect anything else, unfortunately.
That's true.
Yeah, unfortunately, right? They say, hey, if you're joining us on Twitter for the first time, kindly retweet our show. Help us grow there. We appreciate that. Want to say thank you to Claudio Valenzi. I'm sorry, my eyes are horrible. Jimmy Little, Philip John Hissinger for the thumbs up on Facebook. They tell us who gives us some likes over there, so some pressure on you to like us there, as well as on YouTube. Again, all the interaction helps us with the algorithms and puts us higher up in the search rankings. So we're on race number 6 now, Terry, or 5?
Number 5. So anyway, yeah, number 5. Oops, what's that?
We got some picks there from Claudio Valenzi with the bluebird over there. I like the picture. So screenshot that. Hold on, let me put that into. I could translate that to English in here too. So I didn't translate, but there you go. In any case, take a screenshot of Claudio's picks, see how they play out. Let's see how race number 5 plays.
Well, it's a 5 or 6 furlong claiming race, $7,500 claiming price, $21,000 purse. It's for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards, which have never won 2 races.
And at 6 furlongs, despite moving in just the furlong, speed does start to take a little bit more of effect there. 25% of the time they go wire to wire. You typically want like an inside. You want to be usually in the front 4 at the quarter-mile marker. Pretty strong rail bias for Augie's Girl. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7, they get squeezed really hard. 8 and out, not as bad. So once again, in race number 5, Terry, a little inside 3 speed, but it looks like it's dead center of the pack today.
That's right. That 4 and 5 have the most speed. 4 showing the best. And then the 1 has an overlay from 5 to 1 to 8 to 1. The 4 has an overlay from just over even money to 2 to 1. The 4, 1, 3, and 5 have par plus numbers. All but the 3 show pretty darn decent C zones.
Yeah, it looks like this race should be really competitive. Everybody's going to get a tempo that fits their running style. Very balanced in terms of front runners, middle pack, closers. Wide open race. Of course, I single a horse. 5-star Fran looks like the one that could get to the lead, although she's a Lino to the inside. Has a little bit of early speed as well. So I think what's going to happen is the 4 and 5 will go out, and the 4 won't let the 5 clear, make the 5 work. Late speed, Bruno Barber Girl, the alliteration, the pressure horse with the most late legs. Again, really only the 5 and 7 not in the mix as they're coming home. And then your top total pace horse, She's a Lino, 9 points clear. Secret Temptation, Augie's Girl, and 5-star Fran. But look at this whole group down here, really bunched up, Terry. According to this, She's a Lino should win by about 1 3/4 lengths. And then it's a mad scramble for second, third, and fourth for your exacta, superfecta, and trifecta bets. Terry, you don't think that 4 is going to get it done? You're going to go somewhere else.
I am. I'm going with that 7, Fine Whining. She has an early foot, so the cut back in distance may just be the key she needs. And she has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 29% of the races when taking a horse from a sprint to a route to a sprint. And then I like the 4, She's a Lino. She drops in class today, has the highest last speed rating, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and switches to high percentage winning jockey. The 6, Only Girls, my third choice. She has finished in the money in her last 3 races and won one of those starts. And then Why Not Babe? The 8 is my long shot, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, and that trainer jockey combination the last 14 days have won 2 out of 2 starts. No bets for me yet, except for our normal regular bets.
Yeah, which again, to reemphasize, $2 to win on our top pick, $1 exact to box our top 2 picks, 50-cent try, top 3, 10-cent super for top 4 picks. Terry had a nice, $90 exact trifecta yesterday for 50 cents.
I did, yeah.
It's a beauty, 1 in a million girl. I'm going to go with the 4 horse, She's a Lino, as my top selection, Terry. That's my green go horse. Green, green, green. Watch it go to the winner's circle, especially with that top total pace, 9 points clear of the next closest horse. Its resume says that this horse is going to be better in the second start after a layoff, dropping in class, and I think the only horse in the field with a workout between races. Just about everything I look for, this horse checks off. Secret Temptation, the 9 horse. I suppose we all have one of those. Similar fractions last time out at 7 furlongs as 6 furlongs. As you mentioned, Terry, like the 7, this one cutting back in distance should benefit as well. Augie's Girl, that is the 1 horse. A little bit of an overlay right there. You got that strong rail bias. The horse does have a solid par plus score, the second best in the field. And this one is running its proper distance 5 times out, a win, a couple of seconds, and a third. So 4 out of 5 in the money. Fine Whining. Can't ignore Jamie Ness and Ruben Silvera whenever those two team up on a horse. Last time out, this horse showed a lot of early speed, then faded. Cutting back in distance today should help that horse keep its speed longer. This is where I'm going to spend my $16, Terry. 50-cent trifecta. I'm going to go the 4 over the 179, and then I'm going to put all of them in the back end, hoping to catch a bomb, and then $4 to win. My only last $4 on the 4. I like that 4-4 mirror. In the 5th race, Christopher D'Souza going to go heavy on the 5. He's got a lot of other ones in the backside there with the 4-1-2-6 with the key box. So he's going to put them the 5 in a couple different places in there. Thinks that one is going to score. Race number 6 is where we will go next as we tackle the middle part of the Tuesday card at Parx. Terry, what are the conditions here?
Well, we're back to 1 mile and 70 yards. It's a $7,500 claiming race, first 20,000 for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have not won a race since December 12th.
And at $170, again, you're looking for horses that want to be in the front half in the opening quarter mile marker. In fact, if they get to the lead, 38% of the time they hold it and run dash straight into the winner's circle. In this case, the rail is bad, so Handed Promise will have to work a little bit harder to live up to those 12-1 odds. Post 2 and 3, a little bit of a bonus. 4 through 7, they're penalized again. The best place to be is the pink 8 or higher in race number 6, Terry. Some speed. Again, one of those races where a lot of horses have a chance to get going early, but one a little bit best.
Yeah, several of them show speed, but that 5 shows the most speed, followed up by the 2 and the 1. And the 8 has an overlay from, about 3 to 5?
About 1 to 5, 2 to 5.
1 to 5, yeah, 1 to 5 to 9 to 2. And then the 8 shows 100% par plus number, which is really nice. And followed up by the 7, 9, 6, and 2. And then all but the 3 have C-zone numbers.
So you talked a little bit early. So I'm just getting a text from Sean. I'm guessing he says that there's going to be some news coming out that we are going to break on our Facebook site and so forth. So make sure you head on over to Horse Race the Number 2 Day. Horse Race the Number 2 Day. Keep an eye on that. So we're making our waves in the horse racing business, folks. And again, we appreciate it. It's not us, it's you that's helping us, our site grow. Following us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of the above, retweeting our stuff, heading on over there, hitting the like button, all the interaction. Again, we greatly appreciate you spending your time with us today. Did we do this here? Race number 6? We have not, Terry.
No.
The race shape here, pretty balanced. You got half the field roughly that wants to be middle forward or middle back. Should favor some front runners a little bit in here, but we do have a ton of horses with similar early speed. So they might get after it a bit at the get-go, which could open up the door for a horse that has some late stamina. St. Marco being the one with the most of it, about a length quicker than everybody else, but going to be kind of way off the pace a little bit, maybe too far off to win, but definitely factor late. Sevier, the horse that should be close to the front, does have the top total pace. These 3 here, the 6, 8, and 9, about a length better than the 7 and 2, and then a big drop off again. So I'm going to guess, Terry, that if you just took these 5 horses, boxed them in exacta trifecta, you're probably going to have the winner. What do you think?
Yeah, it could happen that way. I like that 6 Sevier. He likes Parx racing, finishing in the money a whopping 75% of the time and won 54% of those starts. And the distance is something that he does well at, 72% of the races in the money, winning 45% of the races, and drops in class. And then number 8, El Hermano. He drops in class today, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. The 9, St. Marco, with my third pick, finished 4th in his last race after being blocked and lacking racing room in his last start. And he has the highest last speed figure and race speed figure. And he has a high percentage winning trainer. And then I like 7, the Silver Edge is my long shot, drops in class today, switches to high percentage winning jockey, has a bullet workout on March 6th.
So it does look like we will have an update on yesterday's crash at Parx. So make sure you head on over to Horse Racing today. Horse Race the number 2 day on all of our social sites. That should be coming forthcoming shortly. Christopher D'Souza going to go with the 2 horse with the 1 and the 6. I'm going to go with the 8, El Hermano. Terry, 100% chance this guy runs a par plus. What's that? If you haven't joined us before, that means that the horse has a 100% chance according to our 10. That means in 10,000 simulations, every time it ran a speed figure above 84 or of 84. I don't know that there's anything 100% in horse racing, so maybe discount that by about 20% because it is making its first start after a little bit of time on the bench. But it is running at the lowest level in its last 10 races. If the simulation odds, the par plus odds, and the C-zone are to be believed, El Hermano should win this race. But if not, Sevier, the 6 horse, is the likely next pick for me. Probably going to attract a ton of money because last time out, it ran a speed figure 7 points clear of every other horse in the field. But this one tends to regress in the second start after a layoff. So regression is likely, and it's rising in class. So I'm going to face a little tougher competition. St. Marco, the 9 horse, another one that'll be coming at the end. Very consistent performer. Last time out, showed a little bit of more early race interest. And if it has that early race interest, at times, in fact, quite frequently, this horse pops some late speed numbers that are on par with stakes level types in triple digits. So if that horse is remotely close coming out of the turn, I don't think the rest of the field will be able to hold it off. Hidden Promise, the 1 horse, that's my final call in here. All of its race internals were better across the board last time out, and this one's going to take a small drop in class. So 8, 6, 9, and 1. Let's go to race number 7, the opening leg of the late pick 4. Terry, they're going to run a mile again.
Yeah, that's right. We're going to go right at a mile, and it's going to be a 16,000 optional claiming race with a purse of 25,000 for 4-year-olds and upwards, which have started for 16,000 or less, and which have never won 2 races or claiming price of 16,000, and again, which have never won 2 races.
In case you didn't get that the first, the second, or the third time, for the second time at a mile, what we're looking for, or our stalkers, 33. I think it's the first time today. 33% of the time, Tony Dorsett, my favorite football player growing up, Tony D, touchdown Tony D. 33% of the time, they do go wire to wire. There is a rail bonus for Chasing Stardom, 2 through 7, all the way through. That grouping, they have a little bit of a discount, and if there's an 8 or higher, they are significantly the best places to be, Terry. So in race number 7, we don't get 8 or out because there is a scratch, but we do have a couple of horses with some early speed.
Yeah, the 2 and the 7 show the most speed in here, and they can maybe go head to head to that quarter pole. That 4 shows a very small overlay from 2, just over 2 to 1 to 5 to 2, and the 5 shows an overlay from 8 to 1 to 12 to 1. The 4, 3, 5, and 7 have par plus numbers, and all but the 3 and 8 show pretty decent C-zones.
Yeah, so the question of who's going to get the lead over here with that 1 horse scratching out. Looks like I didn't re-rank them, but it does look like in race number 7, the horse that's going to get to the front, there's plenty of time. Does look like it has the most early speed, about a length quicker than everybody else. With the 1 out, there's nobody to its inside. The 2 should have its way early on in this race, but it does look like he's going to have to find a second win down the stretch because that late pace number is kind of paltry. Zappi Fishbein. It's got to be a German term. I don't know what it means. My family all passed away that speaks German. does have the best late speed in here, about a length and a quarter better than everybody else, and really not all that far off the lead today. Still be the trailer, but maybe within a length and a half of the nose of the front runner. Jules in the Bay, the lone PC type in here. You like those, Terry. Has the top total pace. Pretty competitive race between the 3, 4, 6, and 7. Pretty significant drop off for the 5, 2, and 8. Again, those 4 horses, 75% chance it produces the winner. Terry, which one do you think gets the W?
Well, I like the 3 Jeeper. He switches to high percentage winning trainer, and this trainer horses win 33% of the races in the first race after he claims a horse. And he's returning to a route which should help, and he has a good workout on March 4th. And then the 4 Booster Shots, my second choice. He finished third versus similar in his last race. Has a high jockey that in his last 7 days been in the money 6 times, winning 3 of those starts. And then 2 is my third choice. Plenty of Time was beaten only 2 lengths versus similar in his last start and can improve at the shorter distance. Double O Auto is the 8th, my long shot. He finished third versus similar in his last race, can improve at the shorter distance. Again, only the normal bets that we do in this race for me.
All right. I will start with the 4 horse, Terry, is my top selection today. A Booster Shot. What is it, the 80th? It is your top par plus horse in here. 36% chance it'll run a speed figure at or above par. Gonna be closing for sure today. And its limited resume as a horse, I think it's only won 12 times. The few times, or the only time that the horse did have a third race in a 3-race cycle, it exploded much higher relative to the first 2. Jeeper, the 3 horse, third up off the first off the claim for trainer Jamie Ness. Any horse that Jamie likes typically does win at Parx. And when he claims a horse, the next time the horse runs, it wins at 34%. That's an alpha angle even for Jamie. 2/3 and 2 at the distance. Number 7, Jules in the Bay, is our top total pace horse in here, Terry. Much improved numbers through the first half mile of its last race. If you rewind through some of our older Horse Center shows, when we had on Craig Milkowski from Timeform US, they crunch a lot of data too over there. And he had mentioned to us one of the things that they found in their analysis is when you see early race improvement through the first half mile, that's an indication of a horse whose form is getting better and could be sitting on a big race. So maybe we'll see that in Jules in the Bay today. Then finally, Plenty of Time. The 2 horses going to benefit from that 1 scratching. Going to get that rail bias over there. Should be on the front, Terry, as the pace setter, and the one that if you want to win, you're going to eventually have to pass. Race number 8 is next. Hold on a second before we go off to race number 8. In race number 7, the 6 horse. Zoppy Fish by End is the pick for Christopher D'Souza. He's going to team it up with just the 7 in an exacta box. So kind of confident on those 2. Looking at Scary Creation, Jules in the Bay. Best bet of the day at 8-1. Scary, in the comment section, kindly share with us why you think that one warrants the BB of the day over there. It's too bad Terry doesn't have his best bet of the day over there. I could set up another boxing match that'll be settled on the track.
Not in that race.
Terry's like, no way. All right, maybe this one in race number 8. Terry, what are we going to do?
Yeah, this is the one. So
the one.
Yeah. It's a 1 mile race. It's an optional claiming race, $16,000 claiming price. Purse $30,000 for fillies and mares 4-year-olds and upward, which have started for a claiming price of $8,000 or less since March 12th, 2022. Our claiming price is $16,000.
Yeah, we just talked about a mile. About a third of the races TD, touchdown Tony Dorsett, and of course we have a good friend of ours over there today at Mahoning Valley running. Terry Touchdown Houghton. Make sure you pull for him over there. Great, fantastic guy. Great friend of horse racing today. A little bit of a rail bonus for Abadale. 2 through 7 a discount. 8 and out, by far the best. Terry, so you want to be fast on the inside. You want to be fast on the outside in race number 8, but there's only 6 horses. And they all have some speed except for the 4.
That's right. But the 2 shows the most speed, followed up by the 7. They could go head to head to that quarter pole. That 2 has an overlay of about 6 to 5 to 5 to 1. The 5 has an overlay of just over 2 to 1 to 6 to 1. The 5, 6, 7, and 2 have the par plus numbers, and all of them show some kind of C-zone numbers.
Yeah, again, a race where the pace sets up nicely for everybody should get the race they want. You don't have a lead-dependent horse in here, though the 6 and the 7, they do want to pressure. They're not really necessarily horses that want to take charge, so they might leave that work to the 2 horse. Flashing Dynamite on the inside speed, so it's normal, giddy up and go. Should put that horse as the bunny that all have to run down at some point. Abadel does look like it's the one that can run down the most at the end of the race as a PC type. And in this field, only going to be about half of 3/4 of length off the front pace, about half of 3/4 of length, better than everybody else at the end. Top total pace in here, Terry, belongs to Abadel. But everybody but the 4, like a pro, within 5 points. That means get blocked, get a wide trip, kind of spin your wheels a little bit at the gate. Could be the difference between finishing first or just beating the 4 horse. Terry, who do you got winning?
Well, I like the one. Abadel is my pick of the day. She's finished in the money in 9 out of 10 of her races, winning 5 of the starts, which shows she's very competitive, loves to win, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Magnificent Pearl, the 5, is my second choice, won her last race at Parx Racing, has a high percentage winning trainer and switches the high percentage winning jockey. The 6 horse is my third pick, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Flash and Dynamite, the 2, is my long shot, ran second in her last race, has a high speed figure at today's distance, and her best start speed is fastest among today's starters. I'm going to bet my $16 that's left over on the number 1 horse to win.
Well, Scary Creation says instead of running to the window for the 1 on your 16, you ought to think about taking your 16 and run to the window, throw it on Magnificent Pearl. The Cinco there, 3 for 3 at Parx, 6-1 morning line. Go over to your banker, mortgage the house, and then when you get home, let the wife know. Yeah, I don't think you want to do that at all. That probably wouldn't work out very well. You may not have a wife after all, which might be the reason you make that bet in the first place. I agree with the 5 horse being 3 for 3 at Parx, but I went with the 1 horse too. Abadel likes to win at Parx. 14 races, 6 of them ended in the winner's circle. At the distance, 3 times out, 1 win in a couple seconds. So you know it's going to compete for that top spot. And again, the dynamic duo of Jamie Ness and Ruben Severa sitting on a ton of live horses today when they're teamed up. Wouldn't be surprised to see them have yet another big day in Ban Salem. Magnificent Pearl, undefeated in 3 at Parx, as you mentioned. Scary. The works for me were a little underwhelming, so I kind of went back to look and see the last time the horse came from off a break at the workouts and had a few more workouts before coming back to race. And I was wondering if maybe they were having some problems in there. The distance has been a little bit of an issue too. 4 times out, a win in a second. Flash and Dynamite, that's the horse that's likely to get to the lead. Real strong par plus score in there, Terry. Strong overlay, borderline green go horse in there. Finally, the 6 horse, Scott Aliaya, or something along those lines. It is the pre-race favorite at 2-1. Terry, this one, when I was looking through it, I mean, this horse's races are boom or bust. This one could run away with this race or could throw a stinker in this race. A horse that has that kind of record, I can't back 2-1 odds, but I can't ignore it either. So I'll put it in my 4th spot. How long do we have to race number 2, Terry?
Let's see, about
about a minute. So let's just rewind back to race number 2, and then we'll do race number 9 and 10 and call it a terrific Terry Tuesday. Of course, you and I will return on Hump Day, Hollywood Hay on Hump Day at Gulfstream Park. So it'll be sunny and warm down there, much like it's probably sunny, at least somewhat warm at Philadelphia today. In race number 2, the 5 horse in here, Haston Dents, is your favorite at 2-1. Again, our simulation odds suggest that at 2-1, you're still getting paid more than you should with that 5 horse. So perhaps that's still a pretty good bet. Looking at the next horse on the board, it is the 7 horse at 3-1. Win Giant. So that one looks like more like 9-2. So a little bit of an underlay on that one. Affy Kid is also 3-1. Our overlay. That one's a little bit of a big, maybe perhaps a little too much money bet on that one, but Terry thinks it's going to be the winner. So there's never a such thing as a valuable losing bet. Chip's Friend, the 2-horse, is your fourth pick right now. Running Joke in there as well. The only one that's over 10-1 is Disturbed, the 1-horse in there. It looks like we're just waiting on we're waiting on 5, 6, and 7 to find their way into the gates. So again, today, free track is Will Rogers. Some long shots hitting there yesterday. Hopefully some more long shots hitting on the free track. There is a link in the description down there below. It's free. So if we hit the bombs, you don't have to pay for it. You will get paid if they do. Cheltenham, our good friend Thomas. You can follow him at TJD Horse Player on Twitter, over at horseracingtoday.net. If you're playing those jumpers in the Cheltenham Festival, Tom shares his selections over there. And of course, if you haven't done so already, you can follow me on Twitter too. So I'm not so lonely over there with my 163 followers at HRT Rich. I'm losing more than I'm gaining of late. I don't know what's going on. All right, race number 2. Let's see what's happening there. And they're off and running. Pretty clean start for everybody. The 5-horse in there, a little bit of a sluggish start, Terry. So Hasten Thence is going to have to find its way off the pace to find its way into the winner's circle. The 3-horse and the 2-horse are chugging along up front. The 4 going to get a pretty difficult trip going 3 wide through the turn. But Chip's Friend continues to set the tone, with Affy Kid sitting comfortably in the co-pilot spot. 3 wide, we do find Secret Alliance, and to its outside is the 6-horse, Running Joke. Down on the rail, Disturb, the 1-horse, the only one over double-digit odds. Now you have the 5-horse moving into contention, and the 7-horse in dead last, Win Giant. So my first 2 picks are going to have to make a pretty aggressive run here. They went through the opening quarter in 2023 and 3 as they moved down the backside. I don't think the order has changed at all. The pack has tightened up a bit. 2-horse, Chip's Friend, continues to be on the lead. The 3-horse, going to have a difficult trip now, Affy Kid, as it's going to have to show some courage running in between horses. The 4-horse going 3 wide all the way around the track, but they ran an awfully slow opening half, 49 and 2. It looks like my 5-horse is jumping up and down over there. I don't think that one's going to be your winner at all. 7-horse maybe going to get in contention, 115 and 3 really slow through the opening half. The 3-horse looks like it's backing out between horses. The one that's moving the best right now is on the outside, Terry. That looks like it is, I can't see that horse number there. The 6-horse maybe? 3-horse is trying to rally. Yeah, the 6-horse is the one that's making a move. 7-horse is moving the best at the end. We can't really get it to switch leads. The 2-horse is continuing to battle on. Looks like this race is going to come down to the 4 or the 7 or the 2. The 7 has just found that gear after switching leads. That's the one that's going to find its way to the winner's circle, I think, Terry. Indeed, it's going to go 7, 4, 2, 6. And then I don't know what happened to the 5 there. 7, 4, 2, 6 in a crazy race there, Terry.
Yeah, the 5 stumbled really bad coming out of the gate, so almost went down to its nose.
Made it pretty tough for that one to win.
It did, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Came out last then.
Pick for the day, 6 to win on the 16. In what race is that, Christopher? Race number 7 or 8? Magnificent Pearl, 5 for 5. Yes, we did that. Which race is that one in? 6-horse pick of the day. Christopher, can you kind of let us know down there? Javier, as far as watching the races are concerned, I'm sorry I didn't get to this a little bit earlier. Race number 8 for Christopher on his bet of the day. So keep an eye out on that. Race number 2, the 7 to win, clap, 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 and roses. And Amina is there indeed. That was a second pick for me, third pick for Terry. As far as watching the races, Javier, I don't know what's available to you wherever you are in the world, but they do have some offshore accounts like Bet Us where you can open an account. I don't think it really matters where in the world you are. You might have to fund it with Bitcoin. Once you fund that account, then you can go ahead and usually watch the races, even if you don't bet the money that you put into the account. They'll let you, as long as your account is active, watch the races live. We will watch race number 8 when it's race number 9 when it's live. Terry, what are we going to be watching?
Well, it's a mile and 70 yards again, and it's a $25,000 allowance race. First 32,000. for 4-year-olds and upward, which have started for a claiming price of $25,000 or less, and which have never won a race other than a maiden or a claiming, or which have never won 4 races.
And at $170, look, they're going to make 2 turns around this track. Start here, finish there. So a little bit more than 1 loop around Parx. At the $170, Terry, we're looking for horses with some stalking and upfront ability, a bunch, almost 40%, win wire to wire. Again, the rail, Big Boy's Answer is a tough spot to be. It doesn't perform that well. 2 and 3 get a little bit of a bonus. 4 through 7, they get penalized. Again, if you get the lucky 8 or out in race number 9, you do get an advantage, but it's only a 6-horse field. Terry, and again, we find a race where all but one has a shot at the beginning to set the tone.
Yeah, several of them have a lot of speed, but the 7, 3, and 4 show the most speed, so we just have to guess who's going to be there, I guess. The 7 shows an overlay of, let's see, goes from about 4 to 5 to 2 to 1. And 7 has the most par plus number, with the 5 following up. And then all but the 3 show decent C-zone numbers.
Again, light green for the pace setting up to match the best performances here. And Laytown with about a 54% chance. So pretty good to run a speed figure at 91 or better, which is a pretty good speed figure by all measures in there, Terry. Let's see what the race shape looks like in race number 9. Well, most folks want to be middle forward. Speed does perform there, so not surprising whatsoever at all. Looking at the early pace, the E-horse right there is that 7-horse, Terry. So if it gets to the lead, it could grow in confidence, although Sheriff Ronnie on the inside, the EP type, might put that one to the test. They're a length quicker than everybody else. So the 7 and the 3 should get out. It's exactly where they want to be. The 2 wants to close, the 5, your PC type. So according to the early pace, everybody ought to be exactly where they want to be. Brooklyn Strong, I remember this horse running in some pretty significant races, does have the most late speed in here, Terry. And then finally, our top total pace horse is Laytown. It's a full length and a half, better than everyone else. So we both start with the lucky number 7. Ivan, you want to join us and put the 7 in there and jinx another one?
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, I like the 7 Laytown. He won his last race at Parx Racing, drops in class today, has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and a high percentage winning trainer. Then Sheriff Ronnie, the 3 is my second choice. He has won 2 races in a row and is going for a hat trick now. And he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Thirsty Pappy, the 6 is my third choice, finished 3rd in his last race, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey as well. Caught and Collected, the 5 is my long shot. He has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey as well. And he has a 4-furlong workout on March 4th. That's pretty nice.
So that's why I put my phone on silence, so they can't catch me to collect, Terry. Number as far as who won race number 2, the 7-horse won race number 2. That guy paid $9.60 to win. Secret Alliance, the 4-horse, came in second. That exacta paid $28 on the dot. The 2-horse third, Chip's Friend, and then Runaway Joke as your final pick to make the superfecta in there. So if you bet the trifecta, you got $99 in a nickel. Hey, that's pretty good. If you bet the 10-cent superfecta, then you add $63.35. That's pretty solid as well. And if you bet the 5-7 egg double for $1, you got $13.80. Not bad either. For where else can you? What would be 13 times your money in 2 races, Terry?
That's right.
Christopher D'Souza in the 9th race, going to go with the 5-horse, Caught and Collected, along with the 6, 2, and 4 for his exacta and trifecta. As for me, Laytown, that top total pace is 7. I love those horses that exceed 5 points in the top total pace. Could be your loanee if it gets to the front right there. And by far the best par number, along with that simulation odds. Not really. It's a light green go. Thirsty Pappy, the 6-horse. I like that name. Sounds like you should make a drink called Thirsty Pappy. Last time out was at this level and just missed. And it does have one of those Barry Meadows alpha angles with 3 consecutive speed figure increases. And that just jarred my memory. One of the notes that I'm seeing again over and over in my race notes at the end of the day when I collect all the winners in my Excel sheet is horses that just missed at the same level last out. So just minor improvement is enough to get the W. Sheriff Ronnie, the 3-horse, is the third selection for me. The last 2 times this horse won at Parx. The last 2 times it raced, it won. So it's going for Terry's hat trick. The only race it ran at Parx, it won. But in the wins, 2 of them came on an off track in 2 races. And then in 14 races on a fast track, only 1 win. So if it rains by race number 9, move the 3 to your top pick. Number 4, Room Jar, definitely won with a ton of back class and very likely to show some improvement in the second start after a layoff. And that brings us to the last race on this terrific Terry Tuesday at Parx. Terry, and they're going to run a sprint.
That's right. They're going to drop back to 6 furlongs. It's a claiming race, $7,500 claiming price, purse $20,000 for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward, which have not won a race since December 12th.
And again, at 6 furlongs, stalkers and front runners get to the front half of the track and you have a good shot early on. 1 out of 4 takes the prize from wire to wire. Pretty strong rail bias for Reiterate. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7, they get dinged, as do 8 and out. So 6 furlongs, inside speed to close the day, Terry. And look what we find. Ding, ding, ding.
That's right. That 2 shows the most speed in there. And then the only one that's even coming close is that 5. Anyway, the 2 also shows a nice overlay from about 7 to 5 to 9 to 2. And the 8 shows an overlay from 4 to 1 to 8 to 1. The 2, 1, and 7 have par numbers, and all of them show some kind of C zones.
And yet we see another green go with that 2-horse in there. The overlay, really the strongest par plus, shot to get on the lead, and tie for your top C zone. That one should be very confident heading out of the gates today. Looking at this race, most of the horses want to be middle back, Terry, after the scratches. So some early speed could be beneficial. Reiterate, a Fleet Diva, Wishing on a Prayer. That trio going to get after it, Terry. The 1 and 2 got to be really careful that they don't smoke each other out in this race, or we'll both be disappointed. They do, however, have some the most late speed, not as much as the 7 or the 8 on the outside, but a big enough gap early that as long as they don't burn, they should be able to hold off the 7 and the 8 at the end. Looking at our top total pace horses, we have the 1, 2, 7, and 8. They're at least 12 points ahead of the 9, 5, and 10. Just put those 4 together, Terry, in your superfecta box. And according to total pace, you have a winner. And we both agree those are our 4 in there. We're hoping they box it up. So we will have a winner with our standard bets.
Yeah, that's true. I started out with Retaliate, the 1, finished in the money in her last 6 races, finished in third similar in her last race, and the Rail Post is winning at a 24% clip. She has a high percentage winning trainer as well. A Fleet Diva, the 2 is my second choice, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Juliet's Music, the 8, she just won her last race at Parx Racing. She has a high percentage winning jockey. Ms. Maribel is my long shot. The 7 ran second in her last race at Parx Racing, and she has a high percentage winning jockey as well. I'm out of money, so I can't bet anything here.
Christopher D'Souza liking the 7, Miss Maribel with the 2 and the 5. If you're just joining us again for the first time, kindly help us out by, if you're watching on Twitter, a lot of folks lately watching on Twitter, we greatly appreciate that. Or X, excuse me, Elon. Hopefully you're watching. If you are, Elon, tweet us out, my man. Everybody else, if you would kindly retweet us, we'd appreciate that as well. Want to say thank you to our good friends on Facebook. Steve Goodrich, our great friend Jay Marco, who's been with us from the very beginning, along with Claudia, Jimmy, and Philip, who we mentioned earlier on. YouTube doesn't let us know who gives us a thumbs up, but we've been getting a lot of them over there as well. We greatly, greatly appreciate that. I would greatly appreciate if the 2-horse won this last race in here, Terry. That horse being a Fleet Diva. It is that Green Go horse, Terry. I love those Green Go horses. They're showing up in my race notes as well. This guy is, along with that, my favorite betting type too, the all or nothing horse. At Parx 10 times, won 4 of them. Didn't show up for the other 6. At the distance, 10 times, won half of them. Didn't show up for the other half. This time the horse is making its first start after a layoff, and the last time this horse came back to work after a little bit of time in the barn, Terry, it won by a lot, 11 lengths. I'm hoping to see a repeat of that. If not, reiterate, this one probably gets the job done and puts Terry's top pick in the winner's circle. Very consistent performer in this group. Faster fractions early out, cutting back in distance should be a benefit. Number 7, Miss Maribel, our good friend. Man, my brain sometimes. Christopher D'Souza, his bet. Every now and then, Jay Marco, you're right. The gray matter between the ears is the first thing to go blank. Christopher D'Souza's top pick did run the top last race speed figure, 3 points clear of everybody else with better race internals from the beginning to the middle to the end. Also like the fact that he ran the same fractions at 6.5 furlongs as he did at 6. Run longer, same times, really going faster, cut back in distance. And then finally, Juliet's Music, the 8 horse, is the last pick of the day. All of its race internals were better last time out. This horse is one of those that kind of go stinker, stinker, stinker. Then all of a sudden the light comes on. And when that light comes on, it tends to stay on 2 or 3 races. The last time out, that light came on, Terry.
That's right.
That's it for today at Parx. Here are our full selections. It looks like my second pick is going to win every race today, Terry. He's won the first one and then the second one. And if we follow that same logic, your third pick is going to win every race today because your third pick won the first one. And then it also, do we match up on the second pick? No, I was going to say that would be interesting if like our second picks and third picks were the same all the way down.
Yeah.
That would be pretty amazing. Tomorrow, you and I will return for Gulfstream Park. Y'all ready for that, Terry?
I am. I'm all set for that. So we're looking forward to it. So
I'm looking forward to it as well. We'll start about 10 minutes before post at Gulfstream Park. I don't know. Did they switch their starting time, Terry, because of daylight savings?
Yeah, I don't know if they did or not. Let me look.
All right. Well, about a half an hour before the show go live, we'll put the post out there on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So we'll put the notification that we're going live. The best way to make sure you don't miss any of that is to follow us on Twitter, follow us on Facebook, hit the subscribe button on YouTube along with the bell so when we go live, you're notified. And of course, we greatly appreciate all the interactivity today. Helps us with the algorithms. We also remind you that there are free picks at Will Rogers, Tom's Cheltenham Festival picks over at horseracingtoday.net. Whole lot going on, Terry. Did I forget anything?
Except for I was going to say that I don't think they've changed the post time for Gulfstream. It's 1:10 Eastern, so we'll probably get on around 10 o'clock my time and 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock your time. And what's up with all the 6s? I don't know. It just came up that way. You know, I don't pay much attention to the numbers. I pay attention to how I think the race is going to run and that kind of thing. So you got your guess is as good as mine, Scary.
All right, Terry, any final thoughts from you before we part ways and return tomorrow for our thoughts on Hollywood Hump Day?
No, just have a great day, and I hope if you're betting the horses today that you do well and do well with everything in your life for the rest of the week and the rest of the year or whatever. Have a good time. And other than that, that's about it.
Yeah, as always, folks, thank you for joining us today. We know time is the most precious commodity because it's the one thing that is absolutely limited in our lifetime. So thank you for spending your time with us today. No matter what you're doing for the rest of this terrific Terry Tuesday, chasing down your life goals, just relaxing in the backyard with a drink on a nice spring day somewhere in the United States, we certainly hope that everything has God's grace, God's favor, and ends up in where Terry's third pick and my second pick will end up all day, the
winner circle.
Indeed. We look forward to joining you tomorrow at Gulfstream Park. Make it a great day.